It's DQ, baby. PseudoKillas, what up? What up? What up? Check. Tapping in, what's the subject? Evolution or revolution, we ain't done yet. Laying flat like Sanchez, it's a bomb threat. I know my flow like Angozi. Source up and show me, homie. You shut up and mute up a moment. The mad scientist, I'm knowing all the components. We own it, and we gon' off it if it's pseudo. You do know we don't entertain that keyboard judo. That big body banger out of Baltimore. Done it all, shopper folks. Sold a little something, but I taught you more than your average teacher. I had to reach you at your level to bring you up. No devil can never beat you. With precision of a magi, the information supplied by some guys get debunked on live. CK and Juju, I chill in the cut. But if you boys wanna fade, then I'm chefing you up. I organize live, the beats of disorganized truth every time. Kudos, who those niggas? Decorated pseudo killers, SpaceAgeAfricans, back again. An organized lie, the beats of disorganized truth every time. Kudos, who those niggas? Decorated pseudo killers, SpaceAgeAfricans, tapping in. I always been fly, that's an actual omen. You can catch me in the sky, ask Anthony Bowman. You see me with his telescope, I was actually floating off some good kush that Savio is actually growing. See, Gullah Gullah and Kent is where the money gets spent. Them boys got some books that cost as much as your rent. The second verse should be smashed Rockwell, but I rock well. Underground like Sumerian Rockwells. In the ring like I'm the rock whale. Hell, create a different wave that can rock whales. Hell, shit swell like lunar tides. My entendres off Gandra to who describe. Euthanize foolish guys. Scholastically, haphazardly. Turn your camera on and look me in my eyes. And please do subscribe. 8 to 80, blind, cripple, or crazy. You in for a new surprise. It's DQ, a organized lie. The beats of disorganized truth every time. Kudos, who those niggas? Decorated pseudo killers, SpaceAgeAfricans, back again. An organized lie. The beats of disorganized truth every time. Kudos, who those niggas? Decorated pseudo killers, SpaceAgeAfricans, tapping in.
Ain't nobody gonna tell me I'm mute. Dang. Juju just talking to herself. Shout out to Zane. This show's for you, Zane. Just catch it later, fam. But good morning. It's like good afternoon. I hope it's a beautiful day in your neighborhood, wherever you are. Yeah, I got it. It's a beautiful day where I'm at, and yeah, this is another episode of Space Age Saturday School. What up, Anthony? How you doing? Ooh, Anthony must have stepped away. I'm glad all y'all joined us today. There you go. What up, Anthony? I was saying, hey, want to shut up? Say hey to the
Hey, what's
people.
going on, man? I don't know what's going on with my. I'm having some technical difficulties, but go ahead.
Oh, man. I'm gonna need another host. Somebody come up here, host with me. I'm just kidding. He'll be all right. We're gonna get it together for y'all. We had a little delay, but some things you just cannot control. And PK, families first. So when family calls, that supersedes everything. I appreciate you all's understanding and thank you for being flexible. But Anthony, you wanna tell them what you got new on the microscope? Let's get it started like that. Cause this show, boy, would I'm just saying this was just a Saturday school show. These supposed to be light, but
Mhm.
this was a little heavy, but it was good. I know I read a lot.
Yeah,
I did about 5 hours plus reading for this show. No lie. It was wild. It was
hey, and
super
it's
wild. But go
it's
ahead,
it's
talk to the
brought
people.
on it's brought on by the questions that we received, on
It,
Wednesday. So
yep,
y'all
it's your
keep them
fault.
questions coming.
It's your fault, Zane. Go ahead.
Yeah, y'all keep them questions coming. 'Cause
Keep
it's
them questions coming.
some good questions, some very good ones. So last week we talked about the star Methuselah, and that question was brought on by Miss Felicia Bennett, which we all know, one of the moderators. And this week we got a couple of questions that we got from was it Zane that asked those
That's Mr.
questions?
Montego.
Yeah, we're gonna be speaking about the voids and the cold spot,
Yeah,
in the CMB and throughout the cosmos. So
yeah.
yeah, but we don't want to get too deep into it because that's leading up to our next series. But yeah, we're gonna touch on it a little bit.
Yeah, we're just gonna touch on it because I promise you, it's a lot of science. I pulled up this one PDF from I think it was Max Planck Institute, and I quickly was like, no. It had like 3 pages of straight equations. Um, yeah, concerning voids. I was like, oh my God. I took a quick glance at it, but yeah, that was it. Look at here we go, Cash Money Boys. But yeah, so how shall I say, voids are something that they've known about for a little while, a little bit.
Hmm.
The It wasn't given much importance because, I think like all humans were attracted to bright and shiny things. So like the bright and shiny things in the universe was the things that they lend their attention to more. But because of so from my understanding, there's been a couple of revelations. The finding of two binary black holes led to one thing we're going to be discussing: gravity. Is it a force? You saw it. And then that question also lended to voids, which I found interesting, right? There's some a connection there, like most things in science and in astrophysics, but this connection was um a little closer than this one was just a little closer, right? It was kind of like almost right on top of each other. And then the voids, you know, an aspect are connected to the cold spot. Um, in From what I'm understanding, there are no particular cold spots in the universe, so it must be the cold spot in the cosmic microwave background. When Zane said it, he didn't specify, but doing research, I came to the conclusion that's what he was talking about. Now, if I'm
And he also stated that there was Vyasa that wanted that asked about
mm,
the voids. That's what Zane said. It wasn't him. It was Vyasa.
oh, okay, okay. Well,
So we're gonna
They're
take
both
that monkey off Zane back.
they're twins, so
Not
one's the
twins.
same. There's Bubba and Vasa. I mean, Bubba and Zane. They like friends till the end type thing.
Yeah.
He got that Chucky thing going on. I'm your
What's
friend
up?
Vivian. No, stop.
Hmm.
That's the funny part of the movie, yo. I used to be so horrified, but that movie was funny, boy. Chucky back in the day. Um, Zane, yeah, ain't no food here. I mean, I might have to get y'all some galactic snacks one day. But yeah, so that was the connection, and I thought it was very interesting. So it led to lots of um researching lots of sources, and I shared every last one of them. I did not expect to have that many sources, but you got them all.
Hmm.
You got every last one of them have added because so one thing we know, a lot of these inquiries are done by theoretical scientists. And I know that one of the sources is a blog. It's a blog by um I can never get her name right. Her name is, what is it, theoretical physicist, the lady Sabine?
Yeah,
Uh
Sabine Hostetler, I think that's how she
thank you.
pronounced
Now, I gave you that blog because she has a video in here explaining, especially about gravity, and I thought it was very clear and interesting. But for every source that I gave, the verbiage, some of the verbiage and a bit of the perspective is a little different on how they explain it. And I figured by reading all of them, okay, I might understand parts of this here, but I don't understand parts of this in this paper. Then I'll go to another source, and then they'll explain the part I didn't understand from the previous, and I was able to understand it better.
Man, what is up with this?
Yo,
Okay, you
let me
back.
tell you
You
what that
froze
was,
up.
y'all.
I don't know if it was me or you, but one of us
Nah,
froze up.
you know what it was? It was them solar flares.
They say you was in a void.
Uh-uh. You was in the void too. Okay. They tell my dang, Juju ended up in a void. Dang, that was me. I don't know what that was going on. I'm telling you, that was the solar flares. You feel me? They warned you about what they was gonna do. Um, but yeah, what I was just saying, that I gave a lot of sources because they give slightly different perspectives on how they explain these celestial phenomena, these cosmological phenomena, and things like that. So to get a better understanding. So you got all those sources. But before we get started with the Space Age African Saturday School, I guess I need to do a roll call. You want to do a roll call?
Yeah, let's do a roll call.
Go
Yeah,
ahead. I'm gonna let
we
you do it. Go
appreciate
ahead, Anthony.
we appreciate all y'all joining us for sure. But Miss Bennett, thank you for showing
Yeah,
up as
Miss Bennett.
always. My good brother
Oh,
Gary, appreciate you coming in. Zane Montego, appreciate you. Gullah, appreciate you joining us, brother. Kung Fu Hebrew, yeah, thank you for coming. Miss Tika, appreciate you.
mm-hmm.
Who else we got in here? Words Alive, much love. Thank you for showing up. Smiles on day one. Appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Webley, thanks for joining us.
Mr. Webley.
Natty Alcey, yo, peace, peace. Appreciate you. Alex Torres, thanks for joining us. Taj, peace to you. Appreciate you coming in. Rock City, New York, thank you, thank you. Babylon Don, appreciate you, appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Come from Hebrew in there too. Shout out to you, fam. Um,
I'm sorry.
yeah,
Yeah, my
there's some
bad.
Spirits messing. Oh, that was you? My bad.
Yeah, that was me. I was
Oh,
trying to
I'm about to say
scroll and
it's some
I was hitting
spirits
it a little.
messing with me.
No, I'm trying to scroll and hitting it too hard.
Okay.
Peace to you, Chilimboy. Appreciate you for
Chilling, boy.
joining in.
We got Afro Ninja in the building. I seen Kung Fu Hebrew. I thought of Gary Berwick. Yeah, Gary is smart. Gary, come join the panel with us one day.
Oh yeah, yeah. And
You
y'all
already
keep
have a
them
question.
questions coming. Y'all keep them questions coming. So what's this we got here? Ken
But I
Anthony.
told you to explain about the telescope.
No, I can't. Not with neither one of these. No, I don't come close to what being able to actually see the void itself. Nah, these here they're not powerful enough. You need a budget like NASA's to be able to get down into them voids, you know. But now these here, they won't do that. But you know, you get galaxies and stuff like that. But quasars and all that kind of stuff, nah, it's just too far away. And these are actually optical telescopes. So they only see in the optical. They have mirrors in them. You know what I'm saying? With
What you mean
like
seeing the
Webb.
optical?
Yeah, optical is, visual.
What
You know
we
what I'm
can
saying?
see.
Yeah.
It's not infrared or anything like that. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, Gullah, that's what this is right here. This computer controls all of this. It controls the mount, it controls the two cameras. So when I log in, I put in whatever object I want to see, and it'll automatically go to it, center it up, and then I can start taking pictures. But yeah, that's what this is. This computer right here.
Yes,
And
Kung
yes,
Fu. That's the
optical is
visible
the visible.
spectrum.
Yes.
Correct. Oh boy. So let me see. I'm gonna start with the visual. And y'all know I got a lot. Did I erase it? Oh dang.
Afro Ninja talking about, hey, this was back in my days, dog, but over the last, 2 or 3 years, it is what it is. We all went through them phases, but yeah, I had this here about 3 years now. My first and only tattoo. But yeah, it for me, it holds a little special meaning, but that's it. Don't go no farther than that.
So
it's personal. Put it like that.
So let's get started. I got my first visual for you all. I don't know where to start, but I'm gonna start with the pictures because
Yeah, that's fine. Because we just talking about it.
Yeah, we ain't gonna get too deep. I promise, Sean. And there's a lot more, but we just gonna give you a little bit of food tea. We just gonna do brunch. It's gonna be a light brunch. A little bit of mimosa. So we're not gonna get too serious. The first picture. So this actually is. Oh boy, Afro Ninja, don't do it. I gotta stop looking at chat. Oh my god, don't make me laugh. This first picture here is actually similar to the thumbnail, and I figure for this series, except for the atomic bomb, but it was a big bang. Duh. I'm gonna stop with that joke. I'm going to give you the celestial object or the cosmological object that we're talking about as the thumbnail. I'm doing it for two purposes: for you to be guessing or maybe try to figure it out beforehand, and just for fun. And also, is like art imitates nature, so it looks like a beautiful abstract painting. But Right here is what you would call a cosmic web. And the reason why this is important because this highlights the voids. Okay, so there's two things about this. One, this is a computer simulation, and I think it's one of the Big Think articles that I put in here that actually gives you the breakdown on how they did this computer simulation. So when you're looking at the sources that I provided, some of them have small video clips. Look at those video clips, the ones pertaining to the information, because they give you a lot more information and they break down pieces of it. And so one of those, and I'm sorry, I don't remember. I was doing too much reading, but I know I provided it for you, has a video with two men speaking, and they're going to explain how they got this, because I'm not going to go into it. I just want to give you some of the meat. Afro Ninja, stop. I'm trying to, I'm always on a protest to bring
Yeah.
back, make kinky and curly hair great again. So yes,
Hey, yeah, they own it. They own it today. I like that.
I had to braid my afro. And yeah, the afro, yo, the green screen and the afro, I don't know if they like each other, but we're working it out. You wow. Okay, so back to it. So yeah, check out those little like small video clips within some of the sources. And they actually got this from I forgot, some type of a mold or whatever. And they how the
Yeah.
mold worked, they put it, they inputted the data in a computer, and then they inputted data from I believe it was Hubble, of mapping out some of the galaxies and things like that. And this is what they came up with. You'll see them in different colors. The one I posted as a thumbnail is one color. The one, all right, Miss Lisa, look at you, all ahead. The one I posted right here is this color, and then and I've seen about a couple more that are different colors, but this is from the Max Planck Institute. And this is, even though it's a computer simulation, the data input is correct for what we know as far as the placement of the galaxies, galaxy clusters, filaments, and whatnot. And just really quick, so galaxies, the really bright spots in the area are galaxy clusters, which are, shoot, every time I read something, it says it's the biggest thing in the universe, and I read something else and it says it's the biggest thing in the universe. But galaxy clusters can be, I'm gonna say one of the biggest things in the universe. I don't want to speak in absolutes. And there's one, I don't know if I can find it real quick, that's literally 10 billion light years across. Mind you, the galaxy is 14. What is it? 13.8 billion years. I'm never going to remember numbers, so don't mark me if I got it wrong. Look it up. No, but yeah, it's not, it's across is almost as much as old as the universe. I think that's crazy, but that's how big galaxy clusters can be. So the very bright spots are galaxy clusters, and the smaller dots are just single galaxies. And then these darker areas in the middles, those are cosmic voids. Cosmic voids are places of relative nothingness, but that doesn't mean they're absent totally. They just have it's very few. Anthony get into it more, but it's just very few in density, not the void itself, but they use density to describe how how many items are in a particular area. So like these bright spots, that's a highly dense place in the universe. And the voids are there's a word for, I can't find this word, it's in one of the sources, but they undense or something. Because then on the other side of that, what up, Anonymous Preem? Thank you for coming, fam.
Preem, what's happening, Preem?
Right?
Heard from you in a minute. What's going
Wait a
on,
minute,
bro?
wait a minute. I gotta put this link out of y'all. And y'all don't get mad, but Anonymous Preem, he been gone for a minute and we miss him. Such a bright, smart, genius, brilliant mind, Anonymous Preem is. So yeah, that's for anybody who ain't scared or who's interested, hit the link. But Anonymous Preem, thank you. If you got some time, if you want to, hit the link. But anyway, yeah. So I'll let Anthony explain some more, but that's the gist of it. But this is what you're looking at. You're looking at the cosmic web. And this is somewhat, a measurement of the universe, the visible or known universe. That is, and that I'm gonna let Anthony speak, and then I'll get into Zane's problem. What is the cold spot? Because it's connected to these cosmic voids. Question real quick before you get into it, Anthony. Would another word for void be vortex? I say no.
No,
I didn't see that in my research.
no, they're not the same. A vortex has to do with basically more like a funnel, and the voids, they're just giant,
Space.
empty. Well,
Rooms.
not totally empty, but
Yeah, they got some stuff in them.
there is some matter there.
Yeah.
But for the amount or the relative emptiness, it's the matter. It's very, very low. And one of the reasons why, at least from my understanding, Miss Juju, why you got so many different sources all saying the same thing is because there hasn't been a consensus yet on this.
Right. This
So,
is would this be an emerging property or working thing in science?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is one of those areas in science where you can get an understanding of how the process is going and the steps that have to be taken to reach a consensus. So that's pretty much where they are now on the voids. I mean, we can see them, they can observe what's happening in some of them, but they don't understand why or what's going on, so they're trying to figure it out. So I don't think there's a consensus on it as of today. But like you say, they can measure them. They can actually, measure some matter within them, but why are they there? We don't know. So one of the leading thoughts is, that's where a lot of the expansion of the universe is happening in these voids. That's where dark energy is actually working, and it's in these voids. Because you have, like Ms. Juju mentioned, you have galaxy clusters, and then you have what's known as superclusters, which is a group of galaxy clusters, and mapping out the universe and all these galaxies, we know where the Milky Way lies within this. So we are gravitationally bound to the Virgo cluster. And then on top of that, the Virgo cluster is bound to the Virgo supercluster. And then the Virgo supercluster is bound to the Lanakel supercluster. I think that's how it goes, if I'm not mistaken. So
you close.
we can tell, they can tell how these galaxies are moving, how they're being, attracted to each other. Like we know Andromeda is being attracted to the Milky Way. They're gonna merge. They can measure that. They can see that, it's happening. It's gonna happen. We'll be long gone, but they're on a course to collide with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see all this. We can observe all this, you know, with Hubble and with Webb. But they also can see these areas where there's hardly nothing there. But you got all these other galaxies and other areas coming together. Then you got this empty, what seems to be empty space over here that only has a few galaxies in it. So, you know, that's an anomaly, and they still trying to figure it out. So, like I said, there isn't much of a consensus on it at the moment,
Right.
but they're working on it.
They are. So also the explanation that I've been reading by connecting on my sources and understanding, and I think Big Think gave me the best explanation for this. Let me find it. I'll give you a little readership for verbatim. If not, I'll explain it the best way I can.
And Miss Juju, when you mentioned that when you showed that picture up, that was in the Cosmos with Neil deGrasse Tyson, where I saw them talking about how the mold formed.
Right.
Looks how like the cosmic web. Yeah. So
exactly.
One more time, y'all can go check out the Cosmos. I'm sorry about that.
Oh yeah, the Cosmos. That's his favorite TV show. Y'all already know.
That and how the universe works.
Yeah, how the universe works.
It got me there.
I'm gonna check that show out. This is another illustration. Well, picture here. There's another map of the galaxy. This one shows particularly the voids and also the galaxy superclusters, and it names them. I actually got this one out of Wiki, but there's several different types of graphs that you can look at to get a better understanding of what that looks like. So for the most part, correct me if I'm wrong, Anthony, but I thought I read somewhere that the galaxy is mostly empty. It's not, like mostly filled like we would think, but also what they're finding out is that even the voids, this anomaly is still following, the theory of the Big Bang. Like they don't see any differential in that, especially when we're talking about isotropy and homogeneity and anisotropies. Okay, so this would be this still falls into that theory, and I know that may be counterintuitive because we say anywhere in the galaxy it looks the same and different things like that with those definitions, but it's like then we have these voids, so it's counterintuitive, but the science still explains it, and it doesn't go against what the science is saying. It doesn't go against what the Big Bang is saying, and I'm talking about when you get into the deep science and into the math and into the stuff I'm not going to even attempt to explain, but I will give you the sources and you can read it for yourself.
Yeah.
and try. But I think we're going to try to get our astrophysics expert friend, if he can, to explain some things. And if he can't do it, he hopefully he can lead us to someone who can. So look for that sooner than later. Before that question, though, I think Anonymous Pring, because he's bad like that, he answered it for you, Kung Fu Hebrew, but he's absolutely correct on that. Did you have, what is a wall in the cosmic sense? So a wall, in my understanding, is like a line of galaxy clusters or superclusters, like in a row all together. And that's to the explanation of how do voids come about. Well, because of gravity, and that's how gravity gets into play. So how it works is that matter is attracted is attracted to each other by gravity. That's the driving force. So things that have more mass will tend to attract other matter or things with mass. So now, over a period of 5 billion years, you're getting these different groupings or clumping together of cosmological objects or phenomena, and when that happens, it also creates pockets of space. And these pockets of space, well, I'll call them small voids, right? And as time goes by, these smaller voids end up um, combining and becoming bigger voids. So this is a theoretical explanation. This is from a scientist paper, by the way. So eventually, it would be that these voids will break up these clumps of matter, these cosmological objects, and you know what I'm saying, and create just a huge amount of different pockets of space. That's kind of how they say it's going to happen. So, you know, but again, it doesn't defy any principle or doesn't defy the theory of the Big Bang theory. That's one thing that was consistent in reading it. But studying it is new. Like I said, they weren't paying attention to it. What brought them to start paying attention? I don't know if the finding the two binary black holes was one of the things, but for sure the cosmic microwave background, probably find the two binary black holes, and dealing with some of the questions about gravity. I don't know, that's possible, but definitely cosmological background and the cold spot. And understanding that quote unquote anomaly, and I'll tell you why I say quote unquote, sprung them to start studying voids in this issue of dark energy and dark matter. Okay, because they know it's there, they know that it's affecting different things, but they just don't know what it is. So I think, and they think, this came out the paper, they think that these voids, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe dark matter or it's
Dark
a lot,
energy.
or dark energy.
They're thinking they're fueled by the dark energy.
Fueled by the dark energy.
Yeah, it's the dark energy that's actually, you know, making them expand. But it also could be, like you mentioned, one of the walls of the superclusters, because you know all the matter is actually coming together, but the universe itself is expanding. Now,
Correct.
the gravity is strong enough to. Sorry about that, y'all. But the gravity is strong enough in close proximity to overwhelm the expansion. So that's why galaxies are coming together. But it's like I said, it's the space within these voids. That's where the universe they're seeing expansion. So with that said, there's not a lot of matter within these voids, meaning galaxies, you know, which
Right.
if there's no galaxies, then there's no stars, then there's no planets. You know what I'm saying? So we think, well, not we, but they're thinking that that's where a lot, I mean, the dark
Trying to
energy
get the
is
balloon. Don't mind me.
fusing that expansion. And the temperature difference, I mean, there is a temperature difference, but it's
Very
very,
minute.
very minute. You know, it's like
Right.
0.00007 of a degree in Kelvin. You know what I'm saying? So it's very, very minute, but there is a difference. So, and at James, no. Can the dark energy be called black? No, it's called
Boy.
dark energy.
Jesus.
They don't call it black.
And probably because it's a racial term. They're not going to do that. Like, go out.
Oh, well, I mean, I know the only thing they refer
I'm
to in
just
black.
guessing.
Yeah, the
The
only
holes.
thing I know of they
Black
refer
holes.
to as black is the black holes.
Correct.
But everything else, they say dark energy or dark matter. You know, they don't use color a lot in astronomy. That's one thing that you won't find. And what's this you got on the screen when you use the term dark energy? No, they don't know what dark energy is. See, when you hear that dark, like I say, dark matter, dark energy, or black hole, that just lets you know that they don't know what it is. And they'll admit to that. They'll tell you that, because that's where I get it from. The scientists admit that when it's dark, they don't know, but they can see the effects of it. And the fact that the universe is expanding, they feel like that there's a type of energy that's fueling that expansion. So whatever is making it expand, that's what they refer to as dark energy, but they don't know what it is.
Yeah, boy, about 5 billion years, I think that's gonna happen. Andromeda Milky Way colliding.
Yeah. And to Gary, yes. If you look into the Gaia, that's GAIA data releases, and it shows a stream of stars that is actually interacting with the Milky Way as we speak. And that stream of stars is a dwarf galaxy that they call the Sausage Galaxy, or the Sagittarius Dwarf Galaxy. But they some people call it the Sausage Galaxy because it's stretched out, looks like a sausage, a piece of sausage. But yes, and there are others that are interacting with us as well. I think the one of the smaller or large Magellanic Cloud, if I'm not mistaken. It's a few more little dwarf galaxies that are actually interacting. But yeah, the Sagittarius dwarf galaxy, if I'm not mistaken, that's what it's called. It is actually, you can actually see that in the data that comes from Gaia.
It's a star hot link.
Yeah.
I'm done. Goodness gracious. So yeah, that's the deal on that. But I know for a lot of theoretical scientists are dealing with this as we speak, and so yeah, and they're also waiting from data from a couple of the space observatories they've sent out in space. So what I've been reading, probably in a few more years, they'll have more data because some of these instruments are sent to gather more data and information concerning these voids. Yeah, so look forward to that. Now to the, let me see, let me go back to this. Let me find it. The question of the cold spot, since we're dealing with voids. So they originally thought that the cold spot that was located in the cosmic microwave background chart diagram picture, which is right here in the middle, they called it an anomaly for two reasons. One, it was a big cold spot, and it was surrounded by areas that were hotter. But when doing further investigation, they realized that it wasn't an anomaly. See how science works when you get more data?
Yeah.
You can answer some of the questions you've already had. So they found that it wasn't an anomaly, but it actually was a void. And that's why I show the diagram of the superclusters and the voids, because this void happens to be, I'm probably going to say the Arrhenius void. I think it is. It's called. Um, which they have located and they know about. And so when you pair some of the mappings of the the universe, um, in this, they realize that it had some of the same characteristics. That's still in some emerging data. I like that word. Um, and hopefully we'll get a finalization. But most of the scientists or in the sources I've been reading, they pretty much agree that this cold spot in the middle of the CMB is a void. And when you're reading the sources or reading the science that is geared to explaining the Big Bang, they all say it does not contradict the Big Bang theory at all. And I found that to be quite interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty
So
deep.
it's pretty deep. And just remind you, so the cosmic microwave background was discovered in the mid 1960s, and the early goals were to measure the amount of radiation emitted at different frequencies, measure the peak of its temperature, and determine whether it was truly a perfect black body as predicted, or whether it was better approximated as the sum of a series of black bodies, which is a property of starlight. To
Hmm.
figure out which I think we know now that that's not so. To figure out the nature of the interfering emissions from our galaxy and attest whether it truly had the same properties everywhere and in all directions. That means it was isotropic and homogeneous, um, everywhere and in all directions, isotropic and homogeneous. Remember that because we'll be doing a show on that. Um, so yeah, you got anything to say about that, Anthony?
No, I think you touched on that pretty good. Other than like I say, the 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 temperature difference is so minute, so we have to keep that in mind as well when we
Right,
deal.
very minute.
I mean,
Not a
it's very
drastic temperature. It's not, at all.
yeah. But I
Um,
think you did a good job with that there, Miss Juju. Fact of the matter is, like we say, they still looking for a consensus.
yeah,
So I got a couple of questions here to Gary. Yeah,
go ahead.
the the black star, yeah, those are theoretical. And that's basically what they think is gonna happen to white dwarfs when they eventually cool off, you know. But the amount of time that it takes for one to cool off is longer than the universe has been, in existence. So that's what, like you say, it's theoretical, strictly theoretical.
Answer
And
this
I had
question. Oh, go
another
ahead.
one from Babylon Done.
All right. And then, oh, my bad.
Uh,
There you-
okay, the Big Bang, of course, what we've
Where's
been speaking
Babylon
on the
done?
last couple of weeks.
This one?
That's the expansion of the universe, the Big Bang. The Big Bounce is what they think could happen, because of the expansion. They're thinking that it could, theoretical, that the universe is going to stop expanding and then come back, close in on itself. So that would be the bounce. It keeps doing that. It's like the universe keeps oscillating. You know what I'm saying? It expands, come back, expand, come back.
Mm-hmm.
The big crunch is when it comes down. You know what I'm saying? So after it expands and then it bounces back and it crunches down to nothing, that would be the big crunch. And the big rip is if it just keeps expanding and everything, it just all the way down to the molecular level, everything gets pulled apart. So that would be the big rip. But all of them all of them are theoretical, but the Big Bang, there's evidence for that. We don't have
Yeah.
any evidence for the other stuff. The other ideas are just based off of what could happen or what has been happening with what we know as the Big Bang. So hope
overwhelming evidence.
That's the simple version of it. That's the enthusiast version of it. Put it like that. But when y'all send your kids to school, they can get you all the ins and outs and the little intricacies of it. You know what I'm saying? That's what school is for.
He's a nut. A deranged pseudo nut. The homie stuff. What you got to say about it, Anthony? About Terry?
About what? What's that question for the family? Have y'all been paying attention to Terry? Nah, I don't. Because
a deranged pseudo nut. I told you.
Yeah, I mean he's not a scientist. He's an actor. You know what I'm saying? So basically, he's taking somebody else's information and making his own assessment of it, coming to his own conclusion. Yeah, I don't do that.
He's doing some sophisticated pseudo judo.
Yeah, pretty much.
He is.
He's an actor, so I'm not getting scientific information from an actor. Not me. No,
y'all remember what Malcolm X told y'all? Stop letting these actors, you know what I'm saying, and things be the representative for us. That means stop listening to them.
Yeah.
Like y'all love to parakeet, and I'm not particularly talking about y'all, but some of us that look like us and others love to parakeet what an athlete done said. You remember what Kyrie Irving was saying?
Yeah, crazy.
What, Waka Flocka was saying, what Kevin Gates was saying.
Nick Cannon.
Nuts. Yeah, and I was shocked with Nick Cannon. You know, I thought he had a little bit of sense, but no. I mean, they're actors and they're athletes, and they had a lot of time crafting their skill and their talent. I don't think they took too much time in actually reading a book from a real scientist or a book from a real historian or any of that, honestly. So, no, just nuts. And what's sad is like the pseudos are overtaking us. You know, Top Cat's channel be 3,000 views on the show. Sanchez, he had 4,000 or 5,000 views on the show.
Yeah, I mean, but
I be trying to get 50 people to watch this show. I'll be happy when we get 500 views. So it's like let's change the narrative. Let's change the conversation. Let's leave our children something that they can actually work with, right? Because at this point, man.
See, the thing about, like I mentioned on our last show, Ms. Juju, the information we giving, it's, you know, we're enthusiasts. So we're leading people to the scientists. But I guarantee you, you can take some of this information and give it to your children, and it can be a foundation for them to build a career off of. The pseudo the pseudo is the only one that profits from his information, because you cannot take that information and go apply it nowhere in the real world, nowhere. But he's telling you what makes you feel good at the time, so you can go in your pocket and give him what he needs.
Right.
And that's what it is. Period. You're getting scammed. So when you get the real information, now you are confused and hold up, that don't sound right. Well, no, because you got a preconceived notion in your head about how it's supposed to be, because you got the wrong stuff. You know what I'm saying? So just think about it on those terms. When you hear certain things, it don't add up, probably because it's not true. But like I say, you can't find me nobody that has went on to great things from something that they heard on Sanchez channel or on, I'm talking about using the information that they give. I ain't talking about, you know, you having a great job, but you listen to Sanchez. No, that ain't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about taking that information that he giving you and going doing something with it in the real world. See if you find me one of those people, because I want to talk to them. I want to talk to that person. You know, how could you build a rocket thinking that the Earth is flat? You know what I'm saying? That those type of people, where are they at? You know what I'm saying?
Boy, let me address this real quick.
It's crazy.
Kung Fu Hebrew. I already knew that from my first conversation, and man, oh man, I don't know what to tell you, but the camera didn't come out to 1838 or something like that. So we know darn well there was no video cameras in the 1500s.
Crazy.
And anybody who thinks that, I will have to. I don't want to say that because I've been posting this video for people, for the children to watch, but oh my goodness, like that is that's wild. It reeks of didn't finish high school, or didn't pay attention.
Or just flat out scamming.
But the people they're getting it from, they're definitely scamming and they're grifting. They're grifting. It's a grift. They're charlatans. They're not. They're telling you they're helping you and saving you from the white men's science, which this whole platform I'm now using to dismantle that, because hell, we had scientists in the well known the 17 and 1800s. There were scientists that look like us. They might not got no play. And one for sure in the 1800s, Antonor Furman. I mention him all the time. You know why? Because he dealt with some of the things that Al-Jahiz dealt with in Charles Darwin, and they're very similar in their conclusions. That's why. I think he was an anthropologist. Don't correct me, but you can Google him. Antonor Furman. He was Haitian. And another historical, I love him because another historical perspective on him is him and Frederick Douglass had interactions. They had engagements because Frederick Douglass was the ambassador for the United States to Haiti. I mean, America been trying to get at Haiti since the late 1800s.
Oh,
for real. So, and when I went to the African Meeting House in Boston, I got a book about Frederick Douglass, and that interaction is recorded in that book because they had correspondence. So of course, then we didn't have the internet or phone. So most of your correspondence, if you're not face to face or by mail, so they have some of, they have evidence of that. And so that's Frederick Douglass and Antonor Furman. And let me tell you, Antonor was not known be made as, you know what? Okay. He stood on 10 toes down on his square. You feel me? Like, y'all ain't finna mess with Haiti. So I may get into it on another show, but yeah. So
I want to address Afro Ninja.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it wasn't actually Sanchez. Well, I don't know if he mentioned it or not, but it was a flat earther that told me that I'm not looking at what I'm looking at through this telescope is there's a little man inside of that changing pictures. Yeah, that was actually told to me.
He said they lying to y'all. They have little men in the telescopes.
It's a little dude in there with some pictures, and he changing
This happened for real. This is for real.
That really happened. Yeah, that was real.
What kind of insanity? What little man? So now you believing in fairies? A grown man believing in fairies? I'm done. Yo, I mean, the thought is cute, right?
It's crazy. Because that's a mighty big book of pictures he got down in this little old tube.
For you Christian folk, forgive me for calling Lord's name in vain, but I'm trying not to. Are you any kind of, urban, ghetto urban vernacular? Okay, so.
And to Babylon.
Yeah, I was right. He's an anthropologist and politician. Thank you, Chilembwe. Yeah, we got to get on that. We definitely got to add him into the mix, Chilembwe, because Antonor was a bad man. I like him. And I have to show you the source of where I read that interaction from. Yeah, Anonymous Prince. I remember when that dude said that.
Yeah, we was on a lie.
It was wild. So we're not lying. SpaceAgeAfrican ain't gonna never lie to you, okay?
A lot of
We
people
got
heard
no
it. I don't
reason to
think
lie.
it was Sanchez that said it, but I know we was having a flat earth conversation. He may have been the one that said it. I can't remember, but I know I hit the floor when I heard it though.
It's wild.
Crazy.
But to a point you said, not only that, I mean, so I feel like those are small time pseudos, but I mean, I want to see what's the progress that Blue Pill and Red Pill have given us. What's the progress out of Phil Valentine's
Billy Carson
doctrine? Billy Carson, like, you know, where's the results in that? What can we build with the doctrine that these individuals are giving us, right? Where's the data? You know, and I'm not talking about, you know, computer generated photos or anecdotals, real data. It's a lot, but yeah, that's why we do this show. So, you know, when people say your show's boring, you know, like Chris Harris, you ain't got no views, it's okay, because eventually it'll catch on. And I know there are people out there that are interested in this subject matter. So we still gonna kick it. We gonna stand in our square and you know, look, it is what it is. But
and then it's new, Miss Juju. I mean, it's something new.
Yeah, but it's
this community hadn't had this type of interaction on this subject. You know, not in this community.
Right. So our show is the detox, right? Detox you from all the drama, the mayhem, and the pseudo stuff. You know, we're addicted to that. So, you know, just sit down, you know, get you a bagel and some juice or a piece of fruit, relax, and enjoy the information. And I got pictures for y'all. I got pictures too. And my pictures are real.
Real pictures, though.
And if they're not, I'm going to tell you they're not, but they're still, computer generated? You feel me? Like the scientists are using them. So, you know, and I'll explain it. So I'm going to tell you what it is. So,
well, see, that's a major part of this field, Ms. Juju. They take all the data that they've collected and then they run it in a computer simulation to get the before and the after. But it's built off of real data. You know what I'm saying? It's not somebody sitting in a room and say, oh, I'm going to put this here and I'm going to put this here. No, they get the actual data, they load it into a computer, and then they run it backwards and forwards to actually match up with what they're seeing.
Correct.
And that's, you know, one way that they, you know, I guess you can say correct yourself or whatever, or test your theories or however, because the average human lifespan is what, 70 years? And the average lifespan for a star is billions of years. You know what I'm saying? So there's no way in hell we can see one star go from nebula to the end of its life in a human lifetime. It ain't gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? But you can get data from this star forming region, then you can take data from this area where you have stars on the main sequence, and then you can take data from this area where you have supernovas and shit going off. You can combine all of that data, put it into a computer simulation, and see how it runs, and see how long it takes. You know what I'm saying? That's where the computer simulations come in at. So you good with it, you know, because that's what the experts do.
Kung Fu, stop telling me, because you're making me laugh. I already know. It's all good. No comment. Okay. It threw me off. But yeah, that's the gist of it. That's the pseudo hour. We're gonna get back to the final part of the show. And yeah, we're gonna get back to the final part of the show. And wait a minute. Hit the link. Somebody hit the panel, please. Ronald's not here today. I need one more person to hit the panel. All y'all get the panel if you want to. Whatever stream y'all hold, come up here. But hit the link. I promise we're really nice. And we're really nice.
I don't bite, y'all. I don't bite.
No comment. So segment energy. No, let me stop. Yeah. I
was busy, Jew. I was busy. I'm still kind of eating, but
okay, thank you. That's another.
So I just wanted to. I know it was the end, so I wanted to hop on just to say what's up.
What's up,
you
fam?
know? Yeah, hey man, I like this type stuff. I be lurking.
Okay,
I can't. The other stuff is my patience ain't really built for the other stuff, but
I know.
Yeah, because I'm at the stage. I'm getting older, and I be cursing people out, so I can't really. I know that ain't good. That ain't good for the show. So, because I tell them, yo, you stupid, you're an idiot. That's my whole approach to the thing now. I can't. I've lost all my patience. I'm turning into my grandmother. But
it's all good. You don't have
on another note, this is right up my alley because this is just we all searching for information and we all searching for good information. And this is what y'all doing is great. And you the man, bro. Like,
yeah,
keep it up, man. Just keep it up with them telescopes, man. Yeah. Oh, keep it up, bro. Keep it up, man. Well, that's what we need. That's what we need. Because what you're doing, you're making it real. You're making it real, and you're making it accessible. Like,
applying.
Because I know somebody seeing it is like, damn, that I never thought to just go grab a telescope and go out in the backyard. Like, you're making it like you're bringing it. You're the face of it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but that's like, keep it up, man. Because we need that. Because it's no telling like what kid is going to see this and, Dad, can you get me a telescope for Christmas? And you know what I mean? And then who knows? You might spark the next. You might spark the next Neil deGrasse or something like that, man. But yeah, I just wanted to cop on and say what's up to y'all. And I hang around. When I eat. I'll put the camera down, and if I can add on, I'll add on. Yeah, I can add on. It's funny you were talking about bagels because I'm literally eating flatbread and hummus right now. So it's like
roasted red pepper hummus.
Oh no, I got the Southwest. I got the Southwest, so it got the pepper in it, but it's kind of like that. But you know how the roasted has the peppers chopped up. This kind of has it mixed in, but it's kind of the same flavor though. It's one of my things though.
Yeah.
I love me some hummus. Thank you, Anonymous.
No doubt. But I'm gonna hang out though. I'm gonna go ahead. Y'all do y'all thing, man. Y'all do y'all thing, and if I can add on, I'll add on.
Absolutely.
Hey, you're more than welcome, bro.
Most def. Y'all my folks, man. Y'all my folks.
You're more than welcome. Anytime. You're more than welcome, bro.
Y'all my folks. Juju be sending me the links, but I'll be like, but on something like this, I could definitely get with it.
Yeah, boy. I be trying.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's one of the reasons why we always showcase scientists, because that's part of our campaign, right? We are getting rid of white man science. That does not exist, okay? There's too many of us who have been working in the field, who work in the field as we speak, in all parts of science. So yeah.
Can I address this real quick here, Miss Juju?
Go ahead.
I appreciate that Kung Fu Hebrew. That's what I'm all about, bro. This is not my information. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not about to try to change it. What I'm going to try to do is get an understanding of it. And then I can bring it to you the way that I understand it. You know what I'm saying? Not meaning that this is the only way it could be understood. This is the way I understand it. So, yeah, I appreciate that. Gratitude. But like I said, it's not my information. I'm just an enthusiast. That's it. So I know my place in this. But I'm just trying to bring it to the people the way that I understand it, because I'm not special. I'm not chosen. This is just what I love, period. You know what I'm saying? So I don't mind sharing it. I'm not in it for the money. I enjoy when people like Miss Juju drives me, because y'all don't understand how far she's came along in this. And for the amount of information that she put in that description, she gets all of that from one article. Because I send her one article. That's all I send her, one article. So that just goes to show you the work that she's putting in. Because I sent her one article and she does the rest. So that's what gives me, what
Oh
makes my
man.
heart, warm. You know what I'm saying? People are actually
I'm gonna
taking the
show 'em.
information and looking into it for themselves. And that's what it's all about for me.
I'm gonna show them the one article you sent me versus what I put in the chat, in the description box. I can't help it, y'all. I like to be thorough. This the one article he sent me. Yo.
But that's what this is all about. That's what the universe
Oh goodness,
is all about. And there's no one on this earth that can go out there and change anything.
Mm-hmm.
Can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Man cannot go out there and move the moon over here.
Nope.
Or make the sun do this. Can't do it. You know what I'm saying? It can't do it. So that's what it is.
We are at the mercy of the universe. We are at the mercy of that Sagittarius A black hole in the center of our galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, we are at the mercy of, that's those solar flares is kicking off them suns. We at the mercy of all that. But thank God we have a protection for the solar flares, so I don't want to create no fake outrage. But that I see some people doing about the corona hole in the sun. Look, that's normal. That happens. Mm-hmm. They've been taking pictures of the corona hole. I want to say the 1600s, but I think we did the show. It went back even further than that. So, like, don't trip. You feel me? Don't trip. Yeah. So, I don't know. Life goes on, right? Just
Indeed.
Look. You can't help it. There's nothing there. That's something we can't control. And I think that's when perspective comes in. And that's why I do enjoy the show, especially with my own personal trials and tribulations and doing this show. Like, enjoy the day you have. Enjoy the beautiful day. Like, go outside, take a walk, eat something good, enjoy your family. And that's why I'm always saying family comes first with PK. You feel me? If Anthony got something to do with his family, and he said, I need a little bit more time, you got it. And I ain't even tripping. There's no discussion about that. Okay. We advocate family here. Okay. Family's first. And that's why I at least try to do this show and our other shows, the Brain Show. We try to watch our language. We try to watch our tone. We try not to have it messy. You know why? Because we want to involve the children. We want to involve all parts of the family in these conversations, because our advocacy is to invoke scientific literacy, to invoke critical and logical thinking. And without the children involved, how are we really invoking that? It's futile. So, I think we're going to get into the last part of this. So Zane, your question has been answered. So for the most part, scientists, they pretty much, they're almost out of conclusion. I'm not going to say they are, but they're pretty much on the same line as to say that cold spot in the cosmic microwave background is actually a void. And the void is, I got to get y'all the proper name. Let me stop messing it up. Aaron Das. I'm gonna find it for in cosmic void. See, if I don't know, I look it up. Oh yeah, it's Aaron Das. I didn't get that wrong. No, maybe I did still. I'll find it for you on the middle. Oh yeah, I got it. It's Ari. It's Eridanus. It's Eridanus. That is the cosmic void that they believe to be. I don't like to use to be, but from the data, it points to that being the cold spot in the CMB is this cosmic void. And I'll just give you a visual on that. So nothing big. Is that a constellation too? I didn't even know that. Okay, I got to go back and look at that. But
yeah, I believe it is. Yeah.
Okay, that's real.
There's 88 major constellations. I mean, we all know 12. All of us know 12
Yeah.
you know, which are our zodiac signs, but there's actually 88 total constellations all over the sky.
Okay, that's interesting. I'm gonna see a little bit more information on that.
And
Maybe
while you're doing that, I got one
visuals.
question I need to go back to. I'm sorry, what you say, Miss
No, no,
Juju? I'm
no.
sorry.
You go ahead while you do that. I'm looking for something real quick. And then we
Words
keep going.
alive.
Where do you have this?
Do I believe advanced civilizations exist outside of the Earth on other star systems? I believe that yes, that's my personal belief. Is there evidence for that? No.
No,
The
yeah.
reason why I personally believe that is because the more I study the universe, the more I understand that we're not, you
Unique.
know, special.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's meaning that because you find a planet in the habitable zone that has life on it, you know, here, which is what Earth is, doesn't mean you don't. It's not anywhere else in the universe because all stars have a habitable zone. You know, depending on the size of the star
With
and
the Goldilocks,
depending on, you know, the type of star it is, the amount of radiation coming off, doesn't mean that life may be sustainable there, but all stars have a habitable zone. And if there's planets in that habitable zone, which
Yep.
we find billions and trillions of stars, then there's a great chance. You know, the more stars we find, the greater the chance there is for life. But like I say, that's my personal belief. There's no evidence for
Yep.
that, none whatsoever. But like I
And
say,
okay.
based on the fact that we're here, I don't believe it's just us. No.
And I agree with Ant, and mine is different just from because I'm a math dude. So just from when you start getting into the numbers of stars, the numbers of galaxies, we talking about billions of galaxies, not stars, billions of galaxies, and each galaxy has billions of stars in it. So just by the vastness of the universe and the incomprehension of big numbers, the odds, just the odds say that we can't be one in whatever billion trillion to the billion trillionth power it is. We can't be the only one. Just from and that's just only, again, like Ant says, from my personal opinion, but my opinion is based on just logic and the way things that in the observable, that the way things that we can see work. There isn't one of anything. There's nothing that you can say that there's just one of. So just take Earth out of it. There's no one camel. There's no one dog. There's no one anything. So why would we think that there's only one planet in all of the vastness of the universe that's capable of supporting life, especially when you consider how long this universe has existed? Like it's just the vastness of it would lead to something else being out there. Now, will it look like us and will it be at our same stage of development? I highly doubt that, but the fact that there is something out there, it has to be. But again, it's no proof and it's just theoretical. It's just, honestly, it's like a barbershop conversation. It's something that we could talk about, but there is really no resolution to it because we don't have the scientific capability to prove it.
Facts.
Yeah.
That's good.
Facts, bro.
Yeah, boy. So one of the final questions. So you already know what Saturday School is, right? We wanted to set up something where we can do a little more than the regular Galaxy and Beyond show. Maybe deal with anomalies in astrophysics or cosmology. Also, we wanted to set up a place where perhaps answers some questions that were had on the show that maybe we couldn't answer at the time. Yeah, and the void was definitely a good one. Methuselah was definitely a good one. So, and that's why we set up the show. But this particular question, I don't know if someone asked you this, Anthony, but I've known that in about the last several shows I've done, this has come up because this is now somewhat of an ongoing discussion in science itself, especially astrophysics, as we speak. Okay. And the question is gravity a force? Right. So
that's a good question now, Miss Juju.
Right. Is it a force? And I think Sabine, her blog was the best for it. I mean, I gave y'all sources from University of Cambridge. It's so much. Sabine gave a good explanation for it, but I'm not going to do no readership. I'm going to give it to you. So there's a question about gravity. This question is not new. Okay, let me tell you why. Isaac Newton and the apple thing, right? That was the beginning of this inquiry into gravity. So we still don't really know what gravity is. Just like, and that's another thing, just like black holes, scientists didn't know what it was. They only knew how it made other objects around it act. That's how they figured that it exists, because we can't see it. It cannot like be detected in that manner. All right. And I think if I'm not going to say something if I'm wrong, but I think probably the same thing went on with the voids, right? Because it also affects how things around it move or act. Okay. And gravity, it's this. Do we have to say emerging properties still? Because it still seems like they're still calling it an emerging property. Jump in if you want, Anonymous Cream.
Like, to me, and again, this is just my layman's perspective of it. To me, it's almost like they're playing semantics with it, but they're saying the reason why that they're saying is it a force or not is because of how they define force.
Correct.
So it's in like, all right. So on the most simple level,
give an example, but I mean,
on the most simple level, you got a can on a table. You push the can, it goes off the table. The force of your hand interacted with the can, and it moved off of the table. Like that's the traditional how traditional science is. That's how Newton looked at force, because he was dealing with what the property of gravity on the planet. So now with Einstein, when he starts getting into relativity, and he's saying, and this is like the big forces. This is like the interaction between a star and the planets and things, and a black hole and and the rest of the galaxy and the rest of the stars in the galaxy, and how galaxies relate to each other. He introduced the concept of space-time actually being warped, and it's not like it wasn't like a planet, a star pushing a planet. It was the star warping space-time and forcing a planet to move in a certain path around in space. So the problem is for how we defined force, how Newton defined force, it didn't fully encapsulate what gravity does on the big scale of stars, planets, galaxies, etc., etc. So to me, it's more of they have to come up with a more specific definition and difference between what happens on Earth on a small level to what happens in the universe on a grand scale. So to me, it's not whether it's a force or not. To me, it's like they're trying to really get down into a more specific definition of it. So, and that's kind of how I looked at it. At first, when I saw it, I thought, oh man, this is resolved. But then when I got into what they were actually talking about, I was like, oh, I get it. you can't look at the force of gravity, like I said, like you picking up a can of soda off of your table. The way it works in space isn't that. It's not me physically, it's not two objects coming into physical contact and one object acting on the other. I guess they're looking for a more exact description of it. And that's how I kind of took it. So at some point they're going to nail it down, and it may result in them using another word to describe it. But for all intent and purposes, it's a force, but they're trying to looking for a more specific way to describe it. That's how I took it.
That was absolutely perfect. You said it better than I would have. That's for sure. But I know another part of this also is the implication of Einstein's I guess theory of relativity and dealing with gravity. So if he doesn't want to call it a force, so how he's explaining it doesn't work on the subatomic level. And
that's the other thing.
Yeah.
And that's a whole other, that's where quantum mechanics comes in. So that's a whole different, like the infinitely small,
right,
our world, and the infinitely big. It's not a one-to-one comparison all the way through. And to call it, and I get that point now, to call all three forces, it kind of can lead to misunderstandings and just a general confusion about how things actually work. So to me, it's just they're trying to get more detailed in explaining the phenomenon, because they understand it. They understand it because they can measure it. They can build things with it. So they understand how it works. But in that understanding, in that deeper understanding, they're trying to be like, okay, maybe we're misapplying our terminology to this, and maybe we could come up with something better. And that's really all it is. It's not in no way trying to overturn anything that exists. Like people say, like people say, they call Pluto a planet, and now it's like, come on, man, it's Pluto's still there. It's just that they realize there's other objects around that size that, we didn't call them planets, so we gotta make a decision. It's pretty much it's pretty just like the border between Egypt and Israel. It's an artificial line. Our descriptions are artificial lines that describe the universe, and all of the time the boxes that we create, the universe doesn't always fit in those boxes, and that's what the real debate is right now.
But also the other things that is that, so we're supposed to perfect the science with new data.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. So that's what's going on.
Pluto, they had new data, new information, better equipment to see what was really going on, and realize, well, it might not be what we said it was. So that's what it's for. So I'm not mad at the gravity conversation, because if it's to perfect what they know and to make it better for a better understanding in the future. Am I in the Anonymous? Can you hear me still? Oh yeah.
No, I'm here. It was family stuff. I didn't want to step on your wisdom, but I'm here. But that's pretty much it. It's like, it's and it's pretty much a system of refinement, and that's what we talk about when we say science is a self-improving mechanism. That's part of it.
Correct.
That's part of it. It's it's like, it's not a stupid conversation. It's a scientist recognizing that, hey, what we've been calling this, and by the way we define force, that word may not apply to this reality that we have observed. Because at this point, I said it in the chat, the evidence for the Big Bang is like increasing year by year. It's when you start at the beginning and you go back to Hubble and all of those guys and up to now, it's like every 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, every increment, there's something new that they're observing that's confirming the predictions that Einstein made back in his relativity papers in the 1900s. So it's like,
one thing I wanted to say about the scientists, which me and Anthony talked about earlier, and I find this would be extremely counterintuitive. Okay, the fact that Newton wasn't really confident with his scientific inquiry, his study of gravity, right? He actually made a quote. They say he was always uncomfortable with the idea of action at a distance. And I think that's something that Einstein eventually explained a little bit more, and why he got the whole space-time being the same thing, and that the curvature was the effect. And that's what gravity is.
And that's what we're observing.
Exactly. Right. That's what we're observing. But Newton, this is Newton, when he wrote to like his other colleagues, he basically said that any competent thinker shouldn't believe his theory. And this is coming from a man whose work we use initially to, like, you know, send a spaceship to the moon and to do other things. And pretty much, I would say, Einstein, like, pretty much felt the same way. Like, his work wasn't complete. He wasn't done. You get what I'm saying? And, you know, either one of them were fully, I guess, fully 100% confident or sure about their theories.
Yes, because when I want to say it was Hubble, I get the names mixed up. I want to whoever was the first one to give actual observation, because they were going on top of that mountain in the observatories, and I read that account because they had two different scientists working on it, trying to observe the eclipse. And for those that don't know, one of the first proofs for relativity, Einstein was still alive, because remember, Einstein was a mathematician and a theoretical physicist, so he figured all of this stuff out on paper before there was actual physical evidence. So
he had no clue.
So in the stories of Einstein, like when they were setting these experiments up, like he realized that, yo, my whole career is going to rise or fall based off of what these two people report. And it's like it was a lot going on. It's like a real interesting story. And if you're interested in science, this is one of them that you should read. And I say that to say, because when Juju brought up that he was unsure, he really was, because he really didn't know what they were going to see. And it's kind of like you could through the account that I read, I could kind of sense that when it came back, that, you know, that it did bend, and you could see the stars on the other side of the sun. It was like he was just like he wasn't running around like doing the touchdown Deion dance. He wasn't doing that. He was like, oh my God, all right, I'm not a quack. I can make a living now. Because then after that, he was already big. But then after that, he just took off, and you know, that's how he's the Einstein that we all know. So, but yeah, he wasn't sure. He wasn't sure how that experiment was going to play out, because again, he only worked it out on paper. Had zero observations, and that's what makes it so great, because all of these proofs is things that he and later scientists predicted based off of his work. Like I was said earlier, the cosmic microwave background, that was predicted by later people who went back into relativity, extrapolated the math. Okay, they said if Einstein says this, then we should be able to find this somewhere. From black holes to the cosmic microwave background, like all of this stuff is because of what Einstein reported, and they kind of knew what to look for based off of his papers. So it's a real interesting story, and it kind of gives you a real good insight into the mechanism of how science actually works. Because it's not just people just sitting in a room just making shit up. That's not how it works. And it's kind of hard if you don't have a background in math, in physics, in chemistry, and if you don't even know the basics of that, it's kind of hard to fathom it mentally. But no, each element is built off of the element before it. And that's pretty much the whole concept of science and how it grows and matures over time.
Yeah, That's a great point, bro. Juju. But yeah, that's how it works. You know, it was the first test where you were talking about that proved relativity or gave validity to it was Arthur Eddington in
There
West
we go.
Africa. He went out and, like you say, during the eclipse, they saw the star that they knew was directly behind the sun, but during the eclipse they could see it. You know what I'm saying? So that was kind of like the first proof. And if I'm not mistaken, Carl Schwarzschild, I think is his name, is actually what brought the black hole question to the forefront, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, it was, but I mentioned it, in our last show.
Correct.
Einstein did a lot of thought experiments. You know what I'm saying? That's what they call them, thought experiments, where you just checking and double checking and triple checking your work. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we're still making discoveries today based off of a theory that was written over 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Because
Still
it has
making
predictive powers. See, real science, good science,
Yeah.
We talk about it all the time, good science.
Sure
You
do.
can take good science and you can come up with a chart, you can come up with a graph, but most importantly, it's gonna make predictions. And those predictions are what are key. You know what I'm saying? Because you had Newton doing work on gravity, and there were other people, but everybody knows Newton. Well, Newton's gravity or thoughts on gravity, it worked for the planets, all except Mercury. It didn't work for Mercury. Nobody can make Newton's laws work. So Einstein, in the development of his theory, he included Newton's laws. So those laws are incorporated into general relativity, but he's taken it farther. So he's built on that. You know what I'm saying? He didn't replace Newton. No, you can't replace Newton.
Nope.
That's impossible. We got to redo everything if we try to replace Newton. No, he added on to it. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what brought this question. Is gravity a force? Because Newton describes it as a force.
Right.
Well, in short terms, general relativity defines it as like a reaction, or, well, not necessarily a reaction, but
an interaction,
curvature.
An interaction between two heavy objects.
A curvature in space-time that makes it look like something is drawn to each other. Objects are drawn to each other. But it's actually the curvature in space-time. But they both work. You know what I'm saying? Both of them work.
At their level,
When you get to the quantum level, that's where the problem is. Now we got to figure out how the macro and the micro mesh together. You know what I'm saying? So those are things that, like we say all the time on this show, you can get your kids involved, and these are questions that they can help answer. Because it's going to take more time, it's going to take more data, it's going to take, more people to get these questions answered. So yeah, great points. Great points.
Yep. And I want to take one thing you said, because people get caught up. One thing Anthony said, he said Einstein performed a lot of thought experiments. Yes, he did. But that's not where it ends. See, in the Black conscious community, we get stuck on the thought experiment and it turns into rhetoric, and we want to go back and forth. When Einstein did,
wait, you better preach. You better preach.
When Einstein did a thought experiment, he backed it up with mathematical equations. So he sat in his mind and thought about stuff, but if he couldn't translate it to paper and explain it to other scientists in a logical, mathematical way so that they can take his work and then examine it and come to the same conclusion, That's what made Einstein Einstein. Not the fact that he performed the thought experiment and smoked his weed and sat back. What if I and just started coming up with crazy shit? No, that's not it. It was a thought experiment backed up by mathematical equations. So if you're not doing the mathematical equations part, you're pseudo. If you're not, if you're doing thought experiments and you don't have a physical experiment, you're pseudo. And that's just facts.
And you got to be able to have some predictive power in your thought experiments.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? You got to be able to predict something. So if, like you say, hey, you can sit up and listen to the pseudo if you want to, but it ain't gonna get you far. I promise you, it ain't gonna get you nowhere. Nowhere at all.
Yeah, boy. So yeah, we're not saying that the theory of gravity doesn't exist. That's not what this is saying, okay? We're just saying that scientists always tend to question things just so they can improve upon them, you know? And again, to falsify it continuously, right? Because I actually prove its validity. I know it's weird, but it does, you know? If you keep doing experiments and trying to falsify the data and it's giving you, you know, consistent results, then it must be that. Kyle, you know I'm gonna say something. Yeah, sure. There's always a possibility we can time travel, but humans on Earth, as I know it today, don't have that technology or that ability. Like, I'm gonna give you a theoretical concept. It's my favorite theoretical concept. I actually did a thumbnail on our White Dwarf show displaying this theoretical concept, and it's called a Dyson sphere. You know what a Dyson sphere is? A Dyson sphere is this machine that can harvest the energy of a star. I feel like in order to do things like have whatever propulsion you need to move as fast as the speed of light or warp time, you're gonna need something like the energy of a star to do that. That's what I feel, but that's what I think. But I'm also not an expert, so I feel like they need to come up with the Dyson sphere first before they even try to come up with the warp speed spaceship. You know?
Yeah, and even with the time travel theory, they say in theory you will be able to fly, you will be able to travel forward in time, just not backwards. It's if you I'm dating myself because I was a kid when these came out, but if you remember the original Planet of the Apes movies, how it happened was a guy went out in space and they traveled at the speed of light, went somewhere, and when he came back, he thought it was like this, pretty much the same era, his same lifetime. But when he came back, it was 1,000 or so years ahead. And the reason for that is because when you travel at the speed of light, I forget how to exactly explain it, but time moves at a faster rate for you than it does to people who are not traveling at that rate. So in theory, if you take a trip at the speed of light and then you come back to Earth, it's not going to be, when you come back, say you left 1 year, say your travel and you experience 1 year. Well, when you come back to Earth, it may be 1,000 years ahead because of that property of traveling at the speed of light. And again, don't quote me on the numbers. I'm just trying to communicate the concept. So in relativity, there is a theoretical possibility that we would be able to do it forward, but they haven't, the mathematics and the physics for going back, that's what they haven't actually worked out yet. So forward time travel may be possible if we can ever figure out how to travel at the speed of light, but we're nowhere near that. So, you know, we're barely past supersonic.
Exactly. But you know, that's why I wanted you, hold on, Anthony, real quick. That's why I wanted you to hit the panel, not to be adversary. That's not what this show is about, Kyle. So don't feel that way. This show is about us learning and engaging and sharing the information, you know. But I definitely will find the Neil deGrasse show, and I'm definitely going to vet it because a lot of times people will jump out the window on trying to get something to prove their points, and that's not what they're saying. I'm thinking Neil said that it's a possibility, like it's a possibility to have that quantum computer.
Yeah.
We really don't have that yet. Really.
Yeah.
I mean,
he probably said something similar to what I said, because I remember Neil deGrasse actually talking about it, and probably a lot of what I just said probably came from him. So, like, it's out there. It's out there.
Wait a minute. He said we've already have done it. So if you're talking about the James Webb Space Telescope and other things, that's not what we're talking about. I mean, we talk about humans traveling, not sending a space probe out there to actually see light from a distant object. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's So, hey, technically, every time we looking at the sun, it's time travel. We're looking at the sun. However many, when we look at the sun, it's that image of the sun is what 10. How long does it take? 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 8 minutes. Yeah, that when we look at the sun, that image is 8 minutes old, because it took the light 8 minutes to get to the earth. So yeah, that we understand that any star in the sky, we're not looking at the star right now at this second. We're looking at the concept of light years. That's what. So if a star is 1 light year away, when we see the star, we're looking at the star as it appeared a year ago. So that's different from time. That's a different concept from time travel. That's a different concept.
He said he's not talking about that. He said he's talking about the twin experiment. Okay, we're gonna look it up. I just don't die by your source. I'm just saying.
Pseudo. We talking about the nature of light.
Oh boy, I tell you.
Oh my God. Y'all don't even know. So you know what? People don't even know what pseudo is anymore. It's like the Republicans taking woke. The pseudos have taken pseudo and changed it and made it mean something that it don't mean. Like, stop it, y'all. Stop it.
No, but I'm gonna look for the twin experiment. I'm gonna look for that Neil deGrasse Tyson. Don't make me do a whole video on you, Kyle. You cute and all. I'll do it. I will do it.
Oh boy.
I did see some good points though. Gary made a good point.
Oh yeah. Let me go back there. Hold on. Gary be funny. Gary, you got to get a T-shirt. I have to figure out something because that point.
Yeah, the time slows down, and that's correct. Because and I've heard scientists say this, and it makes sense to me. But from the perspective of the photon of light, time is instant. From the time when I take a picture of Andromeda.
Dang, Anthony, where you at? Dang.
This is Mike died?
Yeah. He'll be back. Dang him. Hold on.
Yeah.
And for the comment, we can admit when I'm wrong.
We got into theoretical stuff for a minute. It wasn't even stuff that's proven. It's like just we're just riffing on the concept. That's all. Come on, man. It ain't even that deep.
Yeah, and I feel like don't be bringing that other energy over here. This is not for that. Okay. We're not doing that.
We tried to take the time travel concept seriously. That's all. Because come on now, we're nowhere near being able to do that. So it's all theory. Like come on,
Yeah, at this point, I'm sorry. I don't care what you say and who said, even Neil deGrasse Tyson. Myself when I try to go see him. By the way, he'll be in Columbus, Georgia, February 28th, 2025. Y'all look for that, Neil deGrasse Tyson. I will be trying to go see that. I shouldn't probably told y'all because I'm trying to get the money up so I get that front row seat, and I don't want y'all taking up all the seats. But anyway, sharing is caring. So there you have it. Anthony, you back? Go ahead. Finish your point. I saw you blink. No? Damn. Go ahead, Anthony. Go ahead. We hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, can hear me?
Okay. Yes, sir. Finish your point, though.
The fact of the matter is, man, that light, like I was saying, Andromeda is 2.5 million light years away. So we're looking at it in the past. But from the perspective of the photon of light, it's instant. So when that photon of light left Andromeda, it hit my telescope, it was instant because that is the measure. You know what I'm saying? The photon is the measure itself. So that's instant. Now, as far as the time travel thing, I mean, look,
Oh, he died again. His mic died.
Dang, Anthony. Damn, they gonna talk about us.
yeah, I don't know what it is. Can y'all hear me,
I
man?
hear you. Yeah. Go ahead.
Just faded back out, maybe.
Go
I'm
ahead,
I'm
Anthony.
I'm operating off of two. I'm trying to go in on my phone now because my pad tripping, but I guess it's my signal. I don't know. But we got to chill on this time travel thing. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Everything is theoretical. I mean, I could theoretically make a picture of Kool-Aid in my mind and go in there and it's there. You know, it's theoretical. So, like I said, I deal with the observable, and it's not a for sure thing. Some people say it's predicted in Einstein's general theory of relativity. Other people say it's not. I don't know because the theory itself covers about 5 chalkboards. You know what I'm saying? That little bit that we see, that doesn't even begin to explain that theory in itself. So people will tell you anything, but if it's there, Kyle, just show it to us, dog. You know, just that's it.
Simple. It's like
Just show it to us. I mean, you can say it all day long, and then call me pseudo for not believing you. I ain't got no problem with it. But then when you come now, if you come show it to me from reputable sciences, not from the business journal article out of the business journal, show it to me in the Nature of Science or the Journal of Science or whatever, and then we'll go from there. But just because you said so, now that's not good enough. Not here, because in these shows here, all our sources are listed in that show for you to go back. Miss Juju do a good job of putting all that in the description, so you can go and read it for yourself. So that's all we ask. Just source up on that, dog. That's it. That's it. Just source up on it. Because what you
pseudos
saying,
love to
I
live
know
in a
nothing
gray
about.
area.
Yeah, I know nothing about what you saying, and I don't know everything. I don't know 1/4 of everything.
Yeah.
Um,
So it's like
Just show it to us. That's it. That's all I'm
that's
asking.
a it's
DARPA.
really a non-issue because practically no one can prove it. So, like we humored the question just in the spirit of the show. All right, we can deal with it. We can say what we know or what we heard or whatever. But nobody was trying to even make any definitive statements about it because it's not a reality at all. And I even said that I was like, it doesn't matter because we can't prove it because we're nowhere near the speed of light. We're just barely breaking the sound barrier. So the speed of light is infinitely away from us for right now. So it's not even it's not honestly, it's not even a thing to argue about. It's a thing to discuss. We can go back and forth on, oh, you heard this, oh, I heard that, I heard this. Like, but it's going to be no conclusion. But what I realize is pseudos love conversations that don't have a conclusion because they could keep arguing.
So this is DARPA. So I'm just going to give you all the information. You all can look into it yourselves, and perhaps we'll do a show on it. But I'm going to keep it PK for y'all, So Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency is DARPA. I put in DARPA's time travel, and it gave me this and another. Well, it gave me a couple of things. So DARPA asked the world in our own researchers what technology they expect to see 30 years from now and received insightful, sometimes funny projections. So that's what this article is. It's got some lots of good clips, it looks like. And then you have this. Let me see if I'm still on. Oh, yeah. And then you have this is real time machine learning. So if you go to DARPA, yeah, you can see what Kyle's talking about. Driven by the rapid evolving national security threat landscape, future defense systems will need access to low size, weight, and power. What does that say? SWAP? Not SWAT. Artificial intelligence, AI solutions that can rapidly transition from ideas to practice. I'm not going to read or ship on you, but that's what I see now. Let me see if I had the other one. But yeah, that's what DARPA is. I was trying to get the now to see what that was. So yeah, like we're just gonna do it in real time. So I gave you now slice. I gave you the agency that he was talking about. Oh, I did put that up. I can't find it. So here. So let's talk about. Hey, Kyle.
What it
How the
do?
people?
What's
What
happening?
it do, Newt? My favorite Newt.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
What's up, bro?
Man,
Doing
I'm
all right?
cool. Yes, sir. How y'all doing, man?
Good.
Chilling, beautiful Saturday evening, afternoon, I should say. Hey, it's lovely. Life is
Yeah.
great.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I think that the conversation that we having about time travel,
Oh,
it gets
dang.
kind of convoluted because I'm talking about going into the future and time traveling to the future, and y'all are talking about the issues that are going into the past. So when you're talking about the past, that's when you're dealing with, the folding of time space continuum and trying to connect those things by having and that's the machine that DARPA is currently working on. You can go to their website right now, like Juju's doing, and you will see that they currently are working on multiple projects that can make that happen based on their theoretical physics calculations. So that's something that's already done. Now, as far as going into the future, there are experiments that we can pull up, like the twin experiment, when one twin was an astronaut and he aged faster than, no, he aged slower than a twin that was still here on Earth. That was a way that we can show and prove that if you were to travel at a rate that's faster than what time is calculated on the planet Earth, you are theoretically and you actually are, because you're aging slower. You are traveling at a point where time slows down for you, and you are able to travel into that future because you're moving slower on the base of calculations and aging. So that I just wanted to come on and clear that up, and that's the exact same argument that I've always had when we had this conversation last year. Sometime I discussed the now slice in great detail. I think I showed a video by Dr. Robert. What's his last name? I forgot his name, but we pulled all those things up, and it was met with discontention and disbelief. But these are things that we have already done. Like it's not like it's something that we're talking about. Like these things have already been done.
But
The
bro, if you
experiment.
would have said that, I would
Yeah,
agree with you, because
yeah.
from what I know, like all right, time, like how we tell time. I'm talking about like right now it's 3:58. How we tell time, how it's all synchronized around the world. We get our time like how our cell phones work. They get our time from satellites.
Yes.
The satellite, the time moves differently in the satellites because it's outside of the Earth's atmosphere. There is a
Mm-hmm.
there is a corrective factor that the satellite has to send back when it's sending it back to our phone. There's a corrective factor because time down here it moves different even from the
Yeah,
satellite. So the
Right.
Yeah.
computers have to correct it every time they send it. So if you would have explained that, or if I would have heard
I
that,
did
I
though.
would have
No,
said you're 100% right.
no,
But it got lost in it. It's just something that got lost in the translation. So yeah, I agree with that 100%, bro.
yeah.
And that's
So
why I
like,
always say, wait a minute, that's why I always say, when there are points of contention that come up, we're not trying to make this adversary. This is not an adversary show.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Not our galaxy and beyond. You feel me?
Yeah, you know what I mean? What you said was 100% on point, because I heard of
yeah,
that before.
So
yeah.
That's
that's why I say,
100%.
stick
No
the
argument
panel
here, bro.
and let's talk
None
about
whatsoever.
it. Because when
Because
you
No
do
argument.
it, that
the
don't
way,
always work.
But that's why I came on, just to clear up what I'm saying, so that like we
Thank
can all be
you.
on the
We
yeah,
same page.
appreciate that.
And that's actually what I do for a living too. Is dealing with that.
yeah.
So
See,
like,
I appreciate that, bro. I really do, because you cleared it up. Because I mean, just saying time travel, most people thinking that you physically going back into the past. That ain't happening. But you absolutely right. And like Prim was saying, like with the satellites are a prime example. They're farther away from the Earth, so they have to travel faster than the Earth is actually spinning to keep up with the Earth. And that's why there's a difference in the time here on Earth to the satellites. And that's why they have to keep adjusting it.
I completely agree. That's all I have been saying the entire time, and I'm glad we finally came to the understanding.
Yeah, bro. See,
well, yeah,
that's
it's
what
the
I'm
way
saying.
you
It ain't.
explained it, Doc. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you absolutely right with the way you
Yeah,
just explained
100%.
it. You will not get an argument from me off of that argument. The way you
at
just
all.
explained it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we on the same page then. Y'all have a
Yeah,
great day.
exactly, bro.
Yeah,
I'm going back into the chat.
Yeah, man, that
the check,
wasn't like that was a simple one.
Thank God. Go back
I thought
to
it was too.
I
Shit,
appreciate that, bro.
honestly, bro, if I would have seen you having that argument with somebody else, I would have helped you out.
Yeah, that one.
Like on some real shit. Keep it. Oh, pardon. But on the real tip, I would have helped. I would have been on your side of that discussion. If I was in the chat and we was having that, I would have been like, I'd have been like, nah, homeboy, 100% on point with what he's saying.
Okay,
it's just a fact.
I just wanted to clear it up. I was called a pseudo multiple times, and I was like, it had been brewing inside me for the last year. I didn't want to get that.
Yeah, bro,
Well,
you on point with that
bro.
one.
Yeah, but
Yeah, you on point with that.
All right, much love, man. Yeah, y'all have a good one.
All right, peace.
Yeah, peace.
Boy.
Yeah, man. See, it's simple, man. It's simple. Like you're not gonna get an argument out of when you bring actual facts. It's no argument. I'm going to help you with your argument. Actually,
shit, I'm trying to tell you. Hey,
That's good, right? I'm gonna jump on
you
your
ain't gonna get no fight out of me. Not when
pretty much.
But when you bring the clarity, you know what I'm saying? That's where the clarity comes in. Because we would have never got that just in the chat, dog. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
when I heard time travel, I'm thinking, okay, we want to travel to 2050 or we want to go back to 1970. When I hear time travel, that's what picture pops into my mind. So that's why I went on that, and again, I just riffed off of what I heard and what I know. And like even he said it, the forward seems possible, but the backward might be an issue. So that's why I got into all of that, because I heard time travel. But but that concept, oh man, he's 100% on point.
We definitely all read it. You feel me? So, hey.
Yeah, like that's on point.
But yeah, that's our Galaxy Beyond. If there are any other questions from the chat, please do have them. We at the 2-hour mark, and I don't want to go too far because I want y'all to get outside and enjoy the day with wonderful weather.
Well, it's raining here, so I ain't going nowhere anyway. So
it's a little dim, because I know you
caught me on a rainy Saturday, Ju. So
for real.
Yep, I already went to the gym and everything. I'm good.
I'm trying to get on Anonymous Preem. I'm trying to get on like he be, boy. I'll be on Instagram just watching. But
I don't play. You know what I mean? I posted a new video today. I said a personal record on box jumps.
Oh, nice. Damn. How many you got? How many you got in box jumps?
No, it was 36 inches for 10 reps. I'm 53, so that's
Damn, you high jumping.
Yeah, man. Still got it a little bit.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a good workout. That's good core training. Jumping. People don't get that.
Exactly. That's how a lot of older people get injuries, because we don't train fast twitch. And so when something happens, say like we trip and then we got to brace ourselves and we got to move fast, that kind of what causes the injury, because our fast twitch and we can't recover like we is when we was young. Our bones ain't as limber like a baby. They bones damn near bend. So it's when we get caught up moving fast and it's slight and it's like, oh, is something going to snap, break. So,
boy, Babylon Dunn, boy, on this show, he be on it. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, boy.
That's all we have some good interaction over here, though. I like this.
Yeah.
I love it because it's like some people are from everywhere. We had a couple of new faces, like No Word, and then somebody else here today. I hope they come back. So yeah, that's why we're doing this, trying to bring you awesome content, especially about this subject matter in more than one day a week. So yeah, this is how I'll go. But just remember, Space Age African Saturday School is just not going to be solely about our galaxy beyond, even though we taking over. We plan to have other pressing subject matters on this show to discuss. For sure, like, well, it still has to do with astrophysics. Okay, don't make me put y'all in school suspension in the chat now, okay?
They cutting up, ain't they?
You know this
Oh
Saturday.
my goodness.
They cutting up enough.
So dang, I lost my train of thought. But I know for a fact we have a young gentleman who's in the Discord. Is Fetty Kalunga, and yo, he be going hard on some subject matters. So we have some subjects like does your genes determine your intelligence, that we've been having discussions about. I mean, the Discord be popping. Like, I hated that people are so misconstrued about what PK do. Like, online is one thing, and y'all forget community of skeptics, it belongs to Bobby Banger. So he do what he want to do. But PseudoKillas, we continuously have been working and bringing you content that has nothing to do with the subject matter that y'all hate the most. So, but we can't get no views over there. So I don't believe y'all at this point. Every time I say, "Oh, I'm tired of hearing," I don't believe y'all because them shows get 1,000 views. This show get 500 views. Like, so make it make sense. Y'all lying at this point because the proof is not in the pudding. Okay, so
somebody over there watching it, Miss Juju.
Yeah, they be y'all be shadow watching. I know y'all be shadow. Y'all don't be typing in the chat, but y'all be over there watching it. I know you do. Okay. But either way, since that conversation, audio, we're not supposed to say that around here. Those two words are not allowed or not show. Like, honestly, we ban those words. That's why you see I don't mention it, right? But what I'm saying is, since that conversation has been going on, we've been providing alternate content, but y'all still love that. So you got to look in the mirror, okay? I'm tripping, but yeah. So I think we're going to get on bringing it to the show.
Hey, how's it going?
To your genes. Do your genes dictate intelligence? And we're going to start getting into the quantum realm, which is a lot. We're going to talk about what the power to the dark side people used to talk about neutrinos and stuff. We're going to get into all that. And we're going to show y'all how that does not equate to no intelligence design or God of the gaps. Just random. It's just random. All this stuff is serendipity, like, gotta stop. So yeah, not that that's going to be the total focus. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just I'm parakeeting what I've heard, in that community that they call conscious. Yeah, that's what I've heard when I've been over there. Okay. But yeah, so we're gonna get into some quantum physics, and that's another one of Fetty Kalunga's. He loves to talk about that, but yeah, so I'm just letting y'all know I love the genetic intelligence. Yeah, that's a good conversation. I think it gets convoluted because I think so. What I find is most people die at their source. So well, I have a problem with some of the scientists he's using because one of them is the bell curve author, problematic. The other one he used, this one guy he used, the old guy he used, audio, he got his inspiration or he followed behind, or Frank Galton was his mentor. I don't know how it went, but that screamed red flag for me. You feel me? So those are some of the issues that, okay, y'all got in school suspension. I'm telling you. Yeah. You know who I'm talking about in the chat. But so that's some of the problems that I have with the conversation audio, is the implication that Frank Galton, Darwin's cousin, the one that started social Darwinism and all that, is somewhere involved in those theories. You feel me? Because there's a, there was a what's the word? I don't know. There was a line. You feel me? Like it went from Frank Dawson to the other scientists to these current day people, but they're getting like it's just recreating those pseudoscientific things about certain races, which that's a problem, because if you're using race and what's supposed to be a scientific conversation, I'm automatically red flagging that, right? Because until a scientist can qualify race scientifically, I don't want to hear that, at all. I don't want to see that. So yeah, that conversation is fun, but there's just too many red flags for me. So yeah, I gotta vet all them sources, and we'll see what we come up with. No, I done got suspended again. I told y'all to stop, Marcus. Dang. Yeah. You feel me, ODO? So yeah, Anonymous Supreme, you really should join the Discord. It ain't about Black Egypt all day. Trust me. Damn. I said it. It really not like it's one thing like in the public, but that's also community of skeptics. You feel me? Be in the Discord, we be having a range of discussions and they be pretty fire. You feel me? And we got some young blood in there. So it's nice to see young people getting involved in science, scientific literacy, and having a brain to think on their own,
Yeah, man, because it's bad out here, man. Like it's like it's an anti, it's like I want to call it an anti-fact movement. It's like out here, it's like people,
yeah,
it's like people don't understand the difference between facts and opinions, and they don't know the methodology for determining what's a fact from what's a falsehood. It's like almost, if I could think it in my brain, then it's real. No, it's not. That's not how any of this works. That's not how any of this works. It's that just because you think it that's your opinion. That doesn't mean it's an actual fact. So it's like, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. It's very frustrating.
People get facts mixed up. That I think where they get lost at is the two words objective and subjective.
Yes.
Yes,
that's what we get lost at.
Definitely.
There's nothing subjective about the data. Now, what people do with the data, then that's that can be questioned. But the data is the data. You know what I'm saying? And science doesn't care how you feel. See, all those people, and this is just my opinion, but it's gonna take a lot to change this opinion based off of what I see. Those people that, the 10,000 viewers that the pseudo have, or the 1 million viewers or the pseudo have, they good with just feeling good. Whatever sounds good to them makes them feel good. They cool with it. They gonna rock with it. Well, we different. You know what I'm saying? Over here, we're different. We want to validate what you're saying. That's what we want to do, and we want to see what consensus has to say about what you're saying. And if you the only one giving that information, I'm sorry, I can't take it. I can't. If you the only one, especially if you're not telling me or demonstrating to me how you came to your conclusion. I mean, I can sit up and read an article and tell you what I think about it. That ain't hard to do.
All day long.
Shit. That ain't hard to do at all. But to try to give you an understanding of what's going on in that article is totally different. And it takes a little bit more delving into the subject to actually get an understanding.
Oh my God. The chat's funny. I'm sorry. It does not be laughing at. I need to stop.
They taking it there.
They
going
to look at that. But this right here, this is it's funny every time I see it, but it's actually a factual thing. Let me see if I can find it. Sorry, but we just want to give you some icing on your cupcake. Baloney. Don't no dead air now. Come on, y'all.
Yeah, no, I
Well,
actually turned on my tablet when you said the
Oh,
chat was bugging. I had to go see what they were saying, but I
yeah,
can't.
that's what I
I
was doing
came in.
too.
I came in too late. I came in too late to see all the
okay,
foolishness.
okay.
So,
When
but yo,
But
they cool. They cool now. It's
yeah,
like they, you know,
they
yeah,
in suspension right now. Of course they cool.
yeah. I can't. I only could scroll up, but so far, so I can't really. I can't really react to what they were saying. They saying, Kyle, that ain't what you said, man. But when he got on, he said some real stuff though. So I
yeah,
can't. I
but it
can't. I can't
Oh,
argue with him.
there it is. There it is. There it is. Okay, hold
yeah,
on.
he
Because I
he.
don't want you. Go ahead. What you say?
Now I was just speaking on Kyle. What he said today made a whole lot of sense. The way he said
Yep.
it.
Yep.
I don't remember the past conversations as well as Kent and Chilimwe do, but today he was on point. But like I
100%.
said, the confusion, it was gonna be confusion until he came on and cleared that up. Because
Mm-hmm.
you say time travel, I know immediately I'm thinking us going back in time or forward in time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
Back to the Future.
when you speaking on, moving through space, such as like satellites and, astronauts, the things they've had astronauts go into space, and there's a lot of different things happen to them out there.
Mm-hmm.
The bones,
Bone
their
density
anatomy
from
starts
foot.
to
Yup.
weaken and all kind
Yup.
of stuff. You know what
Yup.
I'm saying? That's
And
that's
that's
just what it is.
and a lot of that stuff is coming more in the light with the International Space Station, with
Hmm.
astronauts staying up there for extended periods.
Yeah,
Because before that
exactly.
space station, you would go and it would be a few days. Like even the moon trip, what
Yep.
it took a week or 2 weeks, something like that. They weren't going that long. So they never had a practical they never had practical subjects to examine what happens when you're out in zero gravity for extended period. And that space station, they're learning a whole lot. Like some of them guys come back, they come back with some issues, man. they
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
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 do.
they sacrifice a lot to go up there. Now
They
it's
Yeah.
going to
do.
be it's going to be interesting to see what the long-term ramifications for it are, as far as life expectancy and things of
Yeah,
that nature, and what type of ailments. Because I know the bone density thing, that was a real big thing.
and that could
and
be
you
Yeah.
very
know
dangerous.
and once as you get older, you lose bone density naturally. So like
Right.
Yeah.
what are their older years going to be like? Are they going to be like in a are they going to be like what is it, what was the Samuel L. Jackson, what was that character, Mr. Glass? Are they going to
Yeah.
be like Mr. Glass, or
Yeah.
is it a thing where you could get down here and then do a rehab program and gain it back or whatever? But like that stuff that we still figuring out, because it's pretty new. It's pretty new. So they're going to have to study all of that stuff, and it has long-term implications for long distance time. I mean, space travel and all of that stuff. So it's all building blocks. It's all building blocks. Like we're in
Yeah.
a great time, but it's going to get more advanced and even greater as time goes on and we learn more.
Mm-mm-mm.
And
Um,
that's science, though. Prince.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
science. Science is not, you can't microwave it. Like Wujawa
Mm.
always say, you can't microwave this stuff here, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, because when you start microwaving, then you start making comments like spirits are leaving the center of the galaxy, headed to
God,
Earth.
you gonna make me holler.
You know what I'm saying? You start saying crazy shit like that. But what
Ah.
kills me,
Oh
pardon,
God.
forgive me for that foul language, but what kills me, the people believe it. They think
Yeah.
oh, you some kind of
Mhm.
special guru or something. When you don't understand, man, you got 25 to 30,000 light years to travel. So that means the spirits left before humans even evolved on this planet. Make that make
Crazy.
sense?
None.
Man, I've seen it
Um,
all, brother.
I'm
I've
gonna
seen I've seen Wesley Muhammad. He wrote a book, the Book of God, where he equated a black hole to Allah.
Mm.
stop.
I'm not
Stop.
exaggerating. I
I'm not
am not.
gonna get
He
into that.
said he said the black hole had a arm head a head, 2 legs, and 2 arms, and that was the configuration, and like that was the black guy that all of the religions were talking about.
That's some
I've seen that, like, so, and ain't far off. People will make some stuff up, man. If you're not careful, you will. If you're in a state of belief and you don't know how to go and research and verify facts, you will get caught up, and you will be. They will be passing around that collection plate, and you will be putting your hard-earned money in it.
That's what
Better watch it.
That is an example of a super pseudo that can take something scientific.
A pseudo with a master's degree.
Exactly. That can take something scientific and implicate it in their pseudoisms or their religion. That's wild. But before we get too off topic, when you're talking about bone density and the astronauts, you know, it's another thing that's coming up. I just read this. So bacteria, they're finding out that bacteria is able to replicate better in space. Well, they already know that some bacteria are able to replicate better in no gravity, and there's another environmental component to that. But the fact that also they become resistant.
Oh wow!
I think actually I read this from the International Space Station or something, that there's a bacteria or something on there that's very resistant, and yeah, it's a problem. And when I went to the comment section of the thread, it was like, just don't come back to Earth with it. Then, you know, we don't
pretty much.
And I was like, oh shit, that. Excuse me, y'all. See.
Wow, that's wild.
Like, oh wow, like it was a long
because now I'm thinking, like, just like them old used satellites are falling out the sky. What's going to happen when the space station gets beyond repair to the point that they can repair it and they on to something new, and then that thing just falls back to Earth with all of that crazy stuff on it? Like,
well, hopefully, you know, it's got to go through the atmosphere, and you know it's going to catch on
hopefully
fire.
It get burnt out. Yeah, that is true.
God.
I know, right? Like, damn, like they could,
like, come on, like, yo,
because you know what a bacteria or a virus that no one has immunity would do to the population?
Decimate. It would decimate.
Wow, you talking about an extinction level type event?
Yeah, worse than COVID. Well, shoot,
much worse.
Yeah.
And you're talking about stuff that's going to affect the animals and everything. So you're talking about affecting our food supply. Even if it doesn't affect us, it may affect. Exactly. It may affect the wheat. It may affect the cattle. It may affect. You know what I mean? Like, it's this Earth thing is a delicate. It's a delicate thing here. It's a delicate balance that makes us able to live. And throwing off that balance, you never know what's going to happen.
And what you just said, Prim.
Not the void flu. God. Go ahead, Anthony.
What you just said, Prim, is major, because that just goes to show that we evolved here on this planet, not in the universe.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? If we go out into that universe, dude, without our protection that we are accustomed to here on this planet, we're in big trouble. And I'm talking about as soon as we leave this atmosphere, dude, it's on and popping. Problem much.
You never know what's going to happen unless you get the Star. See, I'm a Trekkie too, so unless you get the Star Trek joint where they get the universal, they had the universal vaccine that before you go to the planet, everybody had to get the shot.
Yeah. See, we it ain't going down like that right now.
Yeah, it ain't. Yeah, exactly, exactly.
So that's how we know we evolved to live. You know.
Yeah, we are tailor-made. We are tailor-made for this environment.
This and this one only, because we have
so
to take
much
it with
so much so. If you go a country over, you might, you know what I mean? Like that's what decimated the Indians. Diseases that they didn't have immunity to. That's really what killed them. That's really what made it easy for the Europeans to off them. Immunity to diseases. Like,
yeah, I definitely paid going to Egypt. I don't think it was anything from Egypt. I actually think, I don't know what it was. I know nobody else had it, but I was down for about 3 weeks.
Wow.
But it was a norovirus or something like that. It was bad.
Wow. And I've heard that before. My my cousin went to college over in Zimbabwe, and she had a few things. Like she got malaria, she got all types of stuff from just going over there. So it's real, man. It's real.
Yeah, I was in New York for 2 days. I couldn't even have no fun. I was so sick.
Wow.
That's funny. Like I'm in an Airbnb messing up that lady Airbnb for dear life. But before we go, I didn't get tested. I should have, but I doubt it was the flu or the COVID. This was like something different, and it was wild. Just how it came about was wild. But this is something Kent put in the chat real quick. I guess this would be the last thing. We don't want to do information overload, but this is pertinent, you know, to the events that took place today, especially in the chat, right? We've mentioned this on the other shows called a baloney detection kit. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think I just saw this from Carl Sagan. Did he invent this, Ken? But I'll get you more information. I want that. But this says making a bologna sandwich. That's what the pseudos do, right? The bologna detection kit is used to analyze claims and determine the likelihood of their being bunk or valid. Let's look at this kit as though we were making a bologna sandwich. So the first step, the mustard, how reliable is the source of the claim? The second step, mayonnaise, does the source make similar claims? So you make the claim, now do you have a source to back up your claim? Third step, what is that? How the claims been verified by someone else. So this is corroboration. This is what we talk about in science. It just can't be you saying it. We're not going to appeal to authority or your source. It has to be verified by someone else. The fourth step, the cheese. Does this fit with the way the world works? Okay. So does it fit within our whole cosmology? Like, does it fit in our in the realm of Earth? You know, does it match? Does it fit in the realm of our galaxy? Does that match? Does it fit in the realm of our universe? Fifth, has anyone tried to disprove this claim? That would be falsify it. Sixth, where does the preponderance of evidence point to? So if you're doing any experiments, so what does the experiment say or the evidence say? 7, is the claimant playing by the rules of science? Ooh. 8, is the claimant providing positive evidence? 9, does the new theory account for as many phenomena as the old theory? Because usually they build upon. Okay,
exactly.
It doesn't go backwards. All right. And 10.
Oh, that's the big one.
Driving the
claim.
Ding,
ding, ding, ding, ding, ding. That's the big one, number 10.
Right. And it says if a claim can't answer all these questions, it's probably baloney. Damn, that was funny. But
we really get stuck on 10. And I know because I've been there, because I came up as a 5%er, and in my early years, my whole thing was validating what the ideology that I held. So I had to go through the Quran, the Bible, history to prove that what the doctrine was correct. And that's not how you do it. You don't start with a belief and then go look to prove it, because that's what confirmation bias is. You got to go out and get the data and then say, okay, this is all the data I've collected. What does that tell me? You can't start with it. You can't start with, this is what I'm trying to prove. You can't go, science doesn't work that way. Real science doesn't work that way. Pseudoscience works that way though.
It does not work that way. I got to address this. So Chiapas, Halit,
Peace, Chi.
was it Oseo, however y'all say it. He's definitely Aboriginal, but please do not spread your doctrine in my chat. You know this is PK, and I'm also a Florida Geechee, so I take that kind of personal. But I do appreciate you coming to, Space Age African Saturday School. Maybe you'll learn something. So yeah, I appreciate the support, no doubt. But yeah, just be careful, because I'm a fight you. Now I ain't gonna fight you, but I'm definitely going to address any pseudo claim you got to say about what's the one? Like my family bought the industry to West Africa. I want to know what the industry you talk about. Slavery?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's probably false. And don't tell me that your family was a Black European, because that's also false.
I want to hear some of that ancient Aboriginal science, though.
They don't have any. They don't have a Naphtaliplier like Africans do. They don't have an Ashango bone like Africans do. They don't have African fractals that are literally the same aerial if you look down at their villages. Like, they don't have none of that. So they don't have it. They don't have basket weaving like Africans did. They don't know how to cultivate food. They don't know how to domesticate things like the Africans did with the yam and rice. So I don't know. I mean, I could keep going, but I don't want to make you look.
Yeah. See, that's my thing, Miss Juju. You know, most other peoples, you know, they at least they could tell their story through the stars. And, you know, we have so many different cultures that speak about their story
creation story.
Yeah, in the stars.
Right.
But I've never heard the Aboriginal. All I hear them talk about is
facts. You've never heard that.
The material things. They never, they say their grandmother told them that they was Indian, but their grandmother ain't never told them no stories about, that they passed down for generations and generations
that's one
and
thing
generations.
Grandma gonna tell you. If she don't tell you nothing else, she gonna hold on to the spirituality, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So with that, she gonna tell you the creation story. You should know that.
But I never heard that, and I'm not, being facetious or nothing. It's just that I've never heard the Aboriginal community speak on anything like that. All they can talk about was there was no slave ships. We always been here, and then my grandmother told me, you know what I'm saying? That's all I ever hear. And I'm not privy to those conversations because I don't tune into them. But when I do hear things, I never hear anything significant, like I say, the Native Americans who are here, they have stories, and things that they pass down forever. So the Black people didn't do that were always here. I mean, your only proof is my grandmother told me. That's not enough. I'm sorry, because if your grandmother came up the same time mine, she couldn't read, probably.
Right, exactly.
Not saying all Black people couldn't read.
No, but a lot of them didn't finish high school. I think my grandmother went up to the 8th grade, or was that her great grandmother? I don't want to lie, but
and it ain't too much different from the day, Miss Juju.
Yeah.
I mean, you still got people walking around here today that ain't graduated. You know what I'm saying? That have the ability to go. Back then, our ancestors didn't have the ability to go to school.
Right.
And for the most part, some did. Don't get me wrong. Right. Yeah, there were educated Black people that were doing good back then. But for the most part, no. They didn't even have a good education. So just saying my grandmother told me, I'm sorry, that's not enough for me. That ain't gonna work for me. I need to hear some of them good stories that's been passed down about, where you come from, really. You know what I'm saying?
They don't have
that's what
any
I need
of
to hear.
that. And I find a lot of times when I'm having the Abo conversation, I'm asking them things about material culture I know from the Seminole Indians and some of their Creek predecessors, and they don't even know what the communal houses are named. Nothing. So I quit at that. I ask them one thing, and if they don't know it, I move on. But I will say, when I was in Egypt last month, it's definitely a cultural continuity, and what I mean is not that West Africa is Egypt and Egypt is West. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that they're on the same continent. So even though there are different types of climate zones and things like that in Africa, different types of landscape, I'm finding perhaps through trade that the food definitely in Egypt, because if I'm not mistaken, you know, we know the watermelon is from Africa, but if I'm not mistaken, Egyptians were the first ones to cultivate the watermelon or domesticate it, okay? And then there are different varieties of watermelon. But that's one thing we did have on the Nile cruise. We had watermelon with lots of seeds, okay? And it looked a little different in like the veining of that watermelon when you cut it open. So it didn't look like anything in America, but it was definitely good. We ate a lot of black-eyed peas there. They did like black-eyed peas in a tomato sauce, which was banging because they also had a lot of rice, lots of rice. Like, and every time they made the rice, they put a different spice or herb in it that gave it a different appeal or property. But it was lots of fish. We had sea bass a lot, and that was pretty amazing. So, you know, I mean, for me being a Florida Geechee, that was like home. You feel me? Like, that's what we eat all the time. So, yeah. So if they're trying to say things, oh, you know, Africa didn't have this, that, and the other, then you got to stop it because it did. And I'm sorry, Mongo, we did change the conversation, but you know, we're PseudoKillas, so you know, we can't just let that stuff ride. We cannot let it ride. Like, if they don't want to sit in their classroom and paying attention and dealing with this you know, space information, then yeah, we got to get it. But Chiapas, no, most times when I see him around in chat, you feel me? And this good juju, bad juju, you know me, Jolanda Zachary, you know, he don't ever like be disrespectful or give me problems. So the doors are always open. It's like the church. You feel me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like the church. The doors are always open. But it's 2:35. Our time's up. So Anthony, go ahead. Final word.
You know, like I always say, and I'm gonna continue to say it, Miss Juju. And y'all in the chat, please listen. When you scientifically literate, they can't drag you down to their level and beat you up with experience. Y'all get that? Peace out.
Anonymous Preen, you get a chance to say final words. I should have did the other way around. Sorry, I might make you repeat it.
It's all good. I'm gonna keep it simple. Yo, when you stand on truth and facts, just don't let them move the goalposts. Nail them down and get them to name a source. And if they can't, they're not to be communicated with.
Facts. And as soon as I find a good song, y'all already know what it is, but I do thank you all for joining us today. We will be doing plenty more of these SpaceAgeAfrican Saturday shows. But with that said, peace, and hopefully we see y'all tomorrow night. I ain't gonna lie, don't be mad. I don't know what it's gonna be, but we're gonna see y'all tomorrow night. Either with, I gotta say this. I know I'd be messing up the whole exit, right? Either we're gonna be dealing with postpartum on the brain, or we're gonna be getting back into the death of expertise. Remember that, because it's literally happening in real time. So if you don't have that book, Death of Expertise by Tom Nichols, go out and get it. And with that, we out. Bye, y'all.
Leland, tap, tap, tap on your touch screen. Every single day, the same routine. You click refresh once again, and I got the same thing. Tried everything I could do. At this point, I have no clue. I gotta tell myself the truth. I just need an upgrade, an upgrade. A toxic relationship, you on top of me. If the topic is truly timeless, the conversation should be how I'm and regaining my peace. Shout out to my Virgo women cooking the feast. Got a Pisces, stay in the hood, that girl a freak. Can't lie, certain Geminis ain't for me, but it's on key, cause certain upgrades cost a fee. Yeah, so we can slide and glide. I know you want it. Known to provide the vibe, the moment. Hit the clubhouse, then clubhouse to the morning. Fall in love with the mind, the body is just a bonus. Careful with what I'm searching, Siri be taking notice. All the pictures I'm liking, algorithm is golden. Melanated the lightness, all these women get chosen. Hershey kiss to the forehead, yeah.
Tap, tap, tap on your touch screen. Every single day, the same routine. You click refresh once again and I got the same thing. Tried everything I could do. At this point I have no clue. I gotta tell myself the truth. I just need an upgrade, an upgrade. A model much better than you. Yeah, shiny and new. I gotta tell myself the truth. I just need an upgrade, an upgrade. A model much better than you. Yeah, shiny and new. I gotta tell myself the truth. I just need an